Hey man, y'all know what the hell going on, man. This your boy Montego Ramon, man. Y'all know what's going on. We're back with the Rizerz channel. Bruh, we are going to do a little bit of, I just kind of want to go through this past week on how the market moved, what I can potentially do better, what are some of the moves to play out, things I can avoid. Going into this coming week, which I want to kind of take my time with, with this account, right? So as you can see on this weekly candle, on Nasdaq, let's do this. All right, you can see if you look over here in this area. When I go to this candle, you'll see, you see the open. Let's do it like, as a matter of fact, this is cool. Matter of fact, I'll screenshot it. And then we'll do a little drawing on it. Cause I got my pen today. I'm always losing this thing. You just be getting knocked off all the damn time, bro. Then I gotta go searching for it real quick. I know you up in here, my guy. Hold on, y'all. There you go. All right, let's go crazy. All right, so it's connected. All right, cool. So if y'all look over here, you see the opening for the weekly candle was, I'm gonna do it in red. You see it was 30,577. You see the high, 30,968. You see the low, 29,160. And then you see the close, which was 29,368. And then you see this week alone, we lost 4.4%, dropping price by 1,350 points. Man, if you just would have held from that high all the way down to that low, that's an insane trade, dude. Futures doesn't allow you to hold that long, so we're not even worried about that right now. But that would have been a nice trade. All right, so we see that we sold off this week. I think already off rip, guys, I think we're about to dip into this fair value gap here. I think we're about to dip into this fair value gap here and potentially the next ones. I think that's where we're going. You can see we made this double top, basically made even highs, and then price sold off, double rejected this area. So this is a huge area of resistance, right? All right, let's move on to the daily. All right, on our daily, if we look at the last 5 candlesticks, which was, this is Friday, this is Thursday, this is Wednesday, this is Tuesday, this is Monday. Monday, we got a doji. We got roughly a doji candle, meaning that price was mostly indecisive before selling off. What is interesting about this doji candle as well is that, as you can see, it didn't even open at where the close is of the last candle. So selling pressure was already pushing it down, right? Then as you can see, we come back, that's probably a gap too. So you can see immediately price came back to retest that area before continuing to sell off, and then we start building some market structure down. It looks like we feel a daily fair value gap inside here. It doesn't look like a full mitigation, but we touch inside, then we sell off. And just like I just said, I think we're going to dip into these areas. You can see this is also a daily fair value gap here, as well as a weekly fair value gap. Actually, let me do this. What I'll do is I'll type this as a weekly FVG. Then I want to draw in the daily. Watch this. I'm gonna draw in the daily. FVG. Cool. And so this is going to be good for helping us pinpoint lower time frame executional areas as we move. We're getting some decent structure. We might come down this low. I believe we're going to sweep this low and dip into this fair value gap before we get some kind of reversal or a continuation down, which like I said, we're coming into July, August, September, October, which we typically like to sell off in those months. We get a nice healthy pullback. All right, let's continue on. So let's go down to our 4 hour. All right, we're going to our 4 hour. You see, this is Friday, this is Wednesday, this is Thursday. Friday, Thursday, this is Wednesday, this is Tuesday, this is that Monday. So the Monday where we actually closed higher than where we opened at, but we gapped down, and then you can see we just basically continue selling off from there. Got a pullback after dipping into this low Wednesday, sold off right here Thursday, and then continue creating downtrending structure basically. Now we haven't, I think once we break, this is a major break right here. You got this level of basically this level here, which I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll just draw a little bit. So this level here, under this area, I know it's a lot of purple. This is a major area of support on this end, where you can see we bought up from there, and then once price came down and broke under this level, this is now support turn resistance here, and price is using that to continue down. Right, let me get this out the way. Cool. So this week we just basically sold off, pulling back from the recent highs we had touched, and we're continuing on down. That's what the 4 hour is looking like. Like I said, so long as I know the overall higher time frame direction, it's easy for us to kind of execute the right trades on the lower time frame. So we just need to go with the direction and flow of it, because you don't want to be taking counter trend trades. When you take a trade that goes with the overall trend, you get a better result. All you have to do is wait on the pullbacks, pay attention to the larger time frame structure, make sure that aligns with the lower time frame structure, and then follow the wave, the trend. All right, so like I said, this pretty much aligns. We got a bit of it was a bit of consolidation here. It had a lot of kind of indecision back and forth till we decided, boom, sell off, sweep a low, sweeping this low, dipping into this fair value gap, buying up, consolidating for a minute, then we sold off again, pull back, get you a bit of consolidation, and we selling off again. Price was kind of building up in this area. We was ranging right here for a little minute kind of, and then looking like we're just going to continue down. And you see the fair value gaps being filled, right? Created and filled. This one was, we reached inside there, healthy pullback, kind of came in there, swept this, did some internal liquidity sweeping that kind of looks like fully mitigated this fair value gap here on the 1 hour, and then sold off. Got a nice healthy pullback after dipping into this area. I was surprised that price didn't go ahead and sweep this low. It immediately pulled back before coming down to sweep that low, which is price just kind of engineering liquidity and doing what it does, filling those orders before it can go continue down. And that's looking pretty sweet. So we'll get into trading these, for instance, we'll get into where the entries popped up on the time frames, because I will execute, typically I like to execute my trades from the 15-minute and lower. So I'll 15.5, not the 3, the 2, and the 1 is the lowest I'll go. But structure has to be there. I just want to see, like, if I'm going down to the 1 minute, that means I didn't see the fair value gap on the 15-minute. I didn't see it on the 5-minute. I didn't see it on the 2-minute. Now I'm down on the 1 minute, and I see the fair value gap validating the entry point for the trade direction, or the entry on the trade for my direction. All right. So again, we have Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Monday was the start of the sell-off. We just continued in that Asian session, which was beautiful. Right here, we got some indecision. This is, man, you could trade this or not. Once you got that pullback, I'm sure the entry is there, as you can see right here, which I think we took that entry. It took forever for this trade to go ahead and play out. Boom, then we pulled back as soon as we touched in there. And then we kind of did a little consolidation over here before we only filled that range. Sold off again, pulled back, dipped below that range. Same thing happening, we're seeing on the lower time frame, but now we're getting a little deeper into the structure. All right, let's go down to the 5-minute, because this is pretty clear. To me, it's pretty clear right now where the entries are popping up. Like if we look at, let's just start with Friday, right? So Friday, we got that pullback into this fair value gap, sold off. Nice trade. I wouldn't try to even take these counter trend trades. I don't like them. If we look here on New York Open, we sold off crazy after dipping into a fair value gap here on our 30-minute time frame. Sold off. I'm sure that once we dive deeper into the lower time frames, we're going to see that downtrending structure validating the direction of this trade as well. Anything Monday would have been nice to get into. That was an easy read on that fair value gap, and then selling off into the and then if we probably look left, we could probably see like that thing just blasted down there. You just would have had to hold, man. Hold down to this area as we sold off. Dip past that, we filled that. We created a nice structure breaking below this area right here. Once we broke below this area, boom, created that fair value gap. Everything else looks good. Sell on that, boom. We get another entry point right here. We get another entry point right here that pops up. Sell. Boom, we selling that. Dipping right into these fair value gaps to which we had marked off, right? Dipping right into these fair value gaps which we marked off. And we seeing multiple fair value gaps across multiple time frames, giving you extra confluence and deeper accuracy on executing those trades, and or just give you extra confidence and conviction on that trade getting to that area. All right, let's go down to the 15-minute. Okay. Like, I like these entries, man. I like this entry. I like this entry here. I'm sure this is a lower time frame entry. This is still even a nice trade right here on just this Friday on the short. I don't like trading late into a Friday, but if we get that full mitigation, we get a nice stopping area potentially. And then look at that, we get a 1 to 3. We easily get a 1 to 3. We could just target this area right here, this gap. You know what I'm saying? Still get something close to a 1 to 3. Not a bad trade. I'm not mad at that. See, that's the thing too. Like, coming in on that Monday. See, even on a trade like on this Monday, like if I come in, let's say you're not confident in the trade, but you still want to try to trade, you believe the idea might play out, let's reduce our risk greatly. 1, 2, maybe 3 micros max. $100, $200 of risk. Wide stop. Long target. Go for it. Any profit you make is gold. Don't even have any expectations. Just execute your strategy. Continue to build that habit. Protect that. You want to always protect the equity first. Then 2, grow capital. Grow your equity, right? So protect the equity first. That means fully accepting your risk. And then if you want to grow the capital, you got to risk it, but you want to think about protecting it first. So that means fully accepting that any loss I take, I'm cool if I lose this. Cool. Before you even take the trade, no, hey, I'm cool if I lose this. You got to already accept, hey, I lost this trade. And if you happen to make profit, cool, bam. That's just cherry on top of the cake. You know what I'm saying? On top of the whip topping. All right, cool. Where are we at? Yeah, so I was talking about this trade because sometimes Mondays I found myself in the past where I just kind of got to be a little more patient. I found myself I need to warm up to the market a little more. You know what I'm saying? So we want to be just cautious of that coming into Monday's market. So it's nothing but a thing. Man, I got this thing around my neck. Whatever, leave that alone. But yeah, so that would have been nice, you know what I'm saying? And that was let's say we caught it in the after hours on that entry, or even that Monday. I'm gonna say let's say we caught it on the after hour. Let's say we caught it short up here, right? That day, that 1 to 3 there easily. We sold right back into these gaps. That's a 1 to 4. We eventually got down to these gaps. You got a re-entry point. But even just coming into this first gap right here, if you look to the left, there's small gaps. And then right here, catch you almost a 1 to 4. We actually break under their aftermarket, so it's cool. Cool, that's still almost a 1 to 4. That's not a bad trade, you know what I'm saying? All right, cool, let's get that out the way. Then if we trade in London and we still following that higher time frame price, we know that this trade right here dip down into here, going into New York. Cool. We might get out right here or down right here once we get this rejection, which is still a 1 to 24 trade. So that means you took, let's say you risk $100. What's 100 times 24? Add a 0, multiply it times 2. And then throw on $400. $2,400. That's a nice dub. If you risk more, $200, that's $4,800. That's nice. That's a nice cushion. You know what I'm saying? And then I had executed this trade right here, which is probably sitting there for a minute, and eventually we got on this end of it and took an entry for the sell in here on the lower time frame. But yeah, I have to take a pause on the video in the next couple of minutes, so we'll just go ahead and come to a close. I think this is good, actually. I don't want to be in here long. We're just seeing the entries. I even think this is a decent trade. If you want to take account, you just have to take a counter trend trade. Just going back into this range right here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gaps in here, you know what I'm saying? You got in this area, you got that. If we look, let's say we get down, let's see, we get down to the 5. I want to see if we get some structure for an entry. There we go. We get the structure for the entry, right? We get a shifter structure right here, right? So I'll draw it out real quick. Boom. We got the sell off. Boom. Coming from this lower high, we make a lower low. We make a lower high and then a lower low. Go ahead and fully mitigate that gap, and the price immediately rejects. We come above this last structural point, boom, breaking that structure, starting to show a shifter structure. We make a higher low, and on that, when we break past that, we see we create a fair value gap. We dip into there for the entry, right? Boom. And then you can just target these small ranges in here. You don't gotta go all the way back up here, you know, but if you so choose, cool. Let's see what price gave us on the longs here. Boom, we dip into the fair value gap. We don't want nothing under this level. This is already a 1 to 2 dipping just into this lower range. We know we have some highs above that, some fair value gaps above that. Look at that. This is almost a 1 to 4 trade now. We also got another gap right up here, which is now a 1 to 5, and then we have gaps further above. This turns into almost a 1 to 9 trade almost. right? And if, yeah, we would have got knocked out basically. So it was 1-8. Cool. Still a nice trade, bro. Still a nice trade. All right, we'll leave that there. So like I said, you see that's on the 5 minute, from the 15 down to the 5, you see we got the structure. On the 15 minute, the structure wasn't there for the entry, though you could have just took it off the strength that the 15 had filled the fair value gap. Cool, just take it, boom. And then you take it up to those higher fair value gaps. Now I want to see the smaller structure because it's a counter trend trade, and you may not need all that. I may just want to take a quick trade into the range it had just created, boom, and then get out of there, you know, and wait on the next entry for the sell to continue my bias for this week or the day, whatever it is for you, right? On this one, I love this entry right here. I missed this day. I woke up late. I don't know what I was doing. Boom, we got a short right here on the gap. I love that it's right before market open, so that means that volume probably was gonna kick in. You might want to have a wider stop, maybe somewhere above that. Boom, that volume kicked in. We did right back into this range where we left the gaps available because we didn't fully mitigate that gap, right? That's a 1 to 9, 1 to 10 trade. If you got a tight stop in this area, it turns to almost a 1 to 20 trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's 1 to 15. That's insane, dude. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. So it's there, man. You just got to be patient. Take your entries. You want to at least secure your 1 to 3. Use the trailing drawdown, which y'all seen in my last video. Y'all seen me trailing the stops. You seen me securing profits. You seen me just waiting on price to show me the entries and execute the strategy only. I'm concerned with. That's all I'm mostly concerned with. I did get caught up for a second trying to make money, and so you got to be careful of that. So man, that's all I got for y'all today. I'm not gonna get no more into it than that. I think that was good, just kind of looking back over this week for the most part and seeing where these trades were available. And that's it, man. 20 minutes on a Saturday while I'm at work, bro. And then I've just been doing my extra studies on I'll eventually probably tomorrow look and see what's going on in the news, watching my other, you know, mentors on YouTube and things like that, guys I look up to who are always giving great market knowledge and things like that, like Wall Street Trapper, Keenan Grace. What's my guy's name? I can't forget his name, man. He what's his name, man? He from Michigan, stock investor. How can I forget his name? Man, I'm looking at it. He wear glasses, from Michigan. It'll come to me. But yeah, so these are the guys I look up to, man. And these guys I'm learning from on a daily basis, and then other guys like ICT, other traders, strategies, things like that. It's all type of videos on and channels on YouTube where they teach you, you know, different concepts and things that you can learn about the market to help advance your education. So man, hey man, it's your boy Montego Ramon with the Rizerz channel. That is all I got for y'all today. That was just a quick review of last week's trading session and just a little talk about where I'm going in the next coming week with the direction of the trades. I still think we're going to be I think my bias is still mostly bearish. I'm not married to my bias. If market shows you something different, news change things, I'm going with I'm trying to see what's the higher time frame structure creating. What are we doing? It does a technical analysis, also support the fundamental analysis. You know what I'm saying? So happy trading, man. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. We got 4th of July coming up, man. So it's nice that it's on a Saturday. That's different. You don't get too many of those too often. So be looking out for July, guys. All right, y'all, peace.